All right, of course, this is Global Business Report here on Arise News, on the Arise News channel. We're going to head now to Algeria, as former President Olusegun Obasanjo of Nigeria is involved in a fireside chat at the Intra-Africa Trade Fair 2025. Let's listen in.
They were all distinguished in their own right. Helmut Schmidt, Pierre Trudeau, Jimmy Callahan, all of them. And I said to them, look, you people, the one who will drink coffee will drink coffee, the one who will drink tea will drink tea, the one who will drink brandy will drink brandy, and we'll start down. And I said, look, you people, you are not really thinking of us. And one of them said, Olu, that's my first name, short form of Olusegun, called Olu. What do you mean by that? I said, look at everything in economic terms is weighted against us. And he said, Olu, you have to understand, we devised capitalism for ourselves, not for you. I said, not even for humanity's sake. He said, bring your economic books and show me where humanity is a factor of production and a factor of distribution. But there's no humanity as a factor of production or distribution. And he then said, look, tell me, give me 3 reasons why I should not buy your cocoa at 100, take it to Hamburg, turn it to chocolate, and bring it back to you and sell it to you at 1,000. I said, but I've told you humanity. He said, economics doesn't work that way.
Sure.
And that is true. How many of our leaders understand that? How many of our leaders understand that market as the mouth it is market for my own profit and for your own loss? That's when you talk of market and market. Market for my profit. They even come up and brought one not too long ago. They call it globalization. And globalization means you close your door, me, I should open my door, and you get everything out of my house into your house.
Sure.
Then I am being globalized. I am not being globalized, I am being cheated. I am being exploited. Now, if we know this, which we should know, then what do we do? And part of what we do are 2 things that tie up here. IATF. Can we trade more among ourselves? How much do we know of what we produce that our neighbor requires? Demand and supply. I like that in economics.
Sure.
And what is the demand of Algeria that Uganda has, can supply? Milk. And when that demand and supply is understood, Uganda became a supplier of milk to Algeria. So the dairy industry of Algeria benefits from milk from Uganda. I went to find out how Uganda produces over 5.5 billion liters of milk. And what do they need to export it and to where? Nigeria can do with more than 25% of that. And we are doing that. Now, that is the sort of thing we need to do through IATF. What information? What do you have? What can we get? Where can we team up? Where can we work together? And then the Africa Free Trade Area Agreement.
Sure.
If you want to stop me, I'll stop.
I do. Can I stop you? Can I call you Olu?
Go on.
No, I can't. I can't. Too many people in this room will not be happy with me, sir. Before we get to the AFCFTA, I want to see if I'm understanding you correctly. Are you saying that, as you said, humanity and economics are two different issues when it comes to the capitalist system in the Western construct? Many of our countries on the continent have been trying to get a greater voice for Africa on the global stage. As you said, we're not shaking the stage just yet. They've been trying to get their voice heard at the table of the World Bank. They've been trying to get their voice heard at the table of the IMF, as you were saying. They've been trying to get their voice heard and respected even at the table of the United Nations. And one can question how successful that has been. So when you say, what can we do in terms of making sure that Africa gets a better return for its goods, are you saying we must stop putting our attention to tables and rooms that perhaps don't really regard us, and we should start focusing a lot more on current solutions that Africans have crafted for themselves in the form of the IATF and the AFCFTA, sir? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think you got me a little bit wrong.
That's why I asked for clarity.
I told you that I belong, and I still belong, to an organization that we call Interaction Council. And when I saw and I understand the world in which we live in as a result of my interacting with the leaders, then I started questioning. And what I got from my questioning is, look, you are in a world and you are going through a world that was not created for you.
Sure.
So if a thing is not created for you and you want to use it and you are not in control of it, what purpose will it serve you? The World Bank was not created for us. The IMF was not created for us. And if we know that, then how we make use of these institutions will be different from the way we make use of them. Let me give you an example. When I left public office in 1979, I decided to go into farming. My dear sister, the rate of naira to dollar in 1979 was 1 naira to $1.85. 1 naira
Sure.
was equal to $1.85.
That's almost parity. Almost.
Not parity, almost 2.
Yeah.
Naira was almost $2. Today, we have a situation where $1 is 1,600 naira. What has Nigeria done to devalue its currency to that extent? Something must be wrong. And I don't believe in my own life And I was talking of 1979, 1980. How far ago was that? 1980 to 2000, 20 years, 45 years.
Sure.
What have we done? What is it? I know we have done some bad things, but is it so bad that our money has been so devalued that it's not even worth the paper on which it is printed? Something must be wrong. Now, if something is wrong, what can we do? The African Bank is coming up and say, look, we don't need to look for dollar. We shouldn't need to look for euro if we are transacting business between Algeria and Uganda. You need the man or the seller in Uganda. He wants Ugandan shilling. He doesn't want dollar. He doesn't want euro.
Sure.
Now, if you can give him or her Ugandan shilling, then why should he be looking for dollar? Why should then the dollar be so made that it makes my own currency worthless? Now, that is the sort of thing I believe we should be looking at. What should we do that will make us no longer dependent on these institutions that were not made for us?
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. And one of it is this, as I said, IATF. And I was going, before you stopped me, that Africa Continental Trade Agreement.
Yes.
Or free trade area.
Yes.
Is another one. These are things that will get us away from what is not created for us, what is not established for us. And that's...
I suppose just one last question then on leadership and looking forward. You would have noticed that there's quite a number of young people in this room, young business leaders who are here, who want to play a part in building Africa with the established leaders or the elder generation. But to the young people who are here in this room, sir, given the importance of unity in the Build Africa project, what would you tell today's young leaders about the courage required to champion Africa's unity, even when it's politically or personally difficult?
Well, I think I will go back to what I said. Over the past 8 years, we have had 4 editions of IATF. And each edition has been moving from one level to a higher level.
Sure.
Let me take my time to acknowledge the effort that the President of Algeria People's Democratic Republic has put into this. Even a month ago, when I came, I had my apprehension. And the President said, don't worry, we will make this the best and the largest. And he has achieved that. In the interest, of course, of Algeria, and in the interest of Africa, and in the interest of global Africa. 4 days ago, we had the talking about global Africa, and we had diaspora. We had 4 prime ministers from the Caribbean attending, and when they left here, they went to attend another meeting in Addis Ababa. That has never happened before. Now, so every little bit that is positive, let us build on it. And the negative, let us also talk about it. One of the things that I don't like is trying to cover up the bad. Now, there's no community that doesn't have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, what we should do about our bad is take note of it, and we make sure that it does not continue to adversely affect us. As I said earlier, slavery was bad for us. Slave trade was bad for us. Colonialism, bad for us. Even what they call globalization, bad for us. Now, if we know this, what do we do that we know will be good for us? Coming together to get rid of apartheid is good for us. Coming together to establish Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement is good for us. Let us see how quickly we can make this work for us. Talking about global Africa is good for us. So that, and people say, yes, we are too many countries. And that is true. Because our population in Africa is not more than population of China, or more, just a little bit. But China is one country. Or India is one country. But we are 54, or is it 55? And when you add the Caribbean and other, what makes up global Africa, we are talking of almost 70 countries. Now, but the diversity that I talked about earlier, China has diversity, but it's diversity within one nation. We now have diversity within our nation and diversity of our continent, which you want to integrate. And until you are able to integrate, at least economically, then we will continue to be drawers of food and drawers of water. That is what we must never accept. Sure. That we must never accept. And the way not to accept it is to know, to understand the world we live in, and take what we can get out of the world in our best interest, and throw away what is not in our best interest. And there are many things in the world that are not in our best interest. We should know it. Sure. We talk of financial architecture of the world. It won't come to us. But you let us, an African country, become one of the 10 economic leaders of the world. They will be coming around. Now, how do we achieve that? Not when we take 2 steps forward, 1 step aside, and 3 steps back.
All right.
No. And that's what we do in most cases. So how do we get the understanding I may go into my own religion. The Bible said, my people are suffering for lack of knowledge. We have to adequately equip ourselves with knowledge. Knowledge of the world, knowledge of ourselves, knowledge of what is wrong with us, and we put them right. Knowledge of what we can do, and we can do a lot.
So if, as we begin to wrap up, I am mindful of time. I think I have two last questions for you. I'll pick up where you left off. Essentially, you were saying we can't dance our way to growth. You know, when you move forward, it's not about doing cha-cha-cha or tango. You must walk forward one step after the other. And I think it is important to note what you have highlighted in terms of what Global Africa is trying to achieve. It's 70 plus countries, as you said, different cultures, different languages, different economic systems, diversity management, as you have highlighted. And I think that that's a conversation on its own about how to best achieve it. It's not impossible, but it certainly won't be easy. But I would like to ask you, and for your thoughts on how the progress that is being made around IATF, around AFCFTA, because there is progress. How can we accelerate it, in your view? You spoke about political will being different to political action. I would argue that if business is also involved, business will is also different to business action. But when we talk about accelerating progress, where do we begin, sir?
How can we accelerate? Look, this country gave or approved over 10,000 visas on arrival.
Sure.
Over 10,000. Now, what stopped any of our countries saying, look, for business or or you are holding diplomatic or official passport, for business, ordinary passport, you will get 10 days visa on arrival. That will change a lot. Why can't we now have AU passport and then start having AU visa for those countries that are ready for it? Now, you imagine somebody coming to do business in Africa. He has come to IATF and he found that, oh yeah, there's something he will want to do in Algeria, something he will want to do in Egypt, something he will want to do in Nigeria. He will probably spend 1 month running after visas for these 3 countries. But if he can get a visa that will make him cover the 3 countries, he will go to the 3 countries, and within a week, he will do his business and go back. That you need to take seriously. I have had a program in an African country, and the day I was to travel, they said there's no visa, and then I didn't go. Now, they will say, oh yes, the reason why they are very strong on visa is because of security. What security? Now, security is not there when 10,000 visa on arrival was given. And if you can give 10,000 visas on arrival for an event like this, why can't you give visa on arrival for those who are coming to do business? either here or in any other country. I have talked about money. I want to bring something here. And then to be able to buy what I want to buy something here rather. To be able to buy what I want to buy from Algeria, I have to start looking for dollar. But the man who will supply what I want to get from here is not particularly interested in dollar. His thing is made in the local currency. And if I can pay him in local currency, he will send me what I want to buy. So what can we do to deal with that? Sure. A number of things. African Bank is doing what it's doing. Simple, yes, perhaps. Simple butter. Now, I want to buy date from here. All right? How much is the date cost? The date that I want to buy from here will cost so much local currency. I want to bring mango from Nigeria to here. How much will I get on my mango? To get so much. Why don't I bring my mango and I get date and we square up? Why? And then we will be doing business.
Sure.
We will be transacting business. We will be trading. We will be expanding within the context of we will be expanding and improving on intra-African trade.
Sure.
Let me give you one more. If we can have a thriving coastal shipping system from Oran along the west up to Cape, we will increase intra-African trade by 10%. And let me give you an example. I went to Angola. And when I got to Angola, I was walking around. I said, look, what can I import or what can I export to Angola from Nigeria? I made the inquiry. You won't believe it is noodles. They call it Indomie in Nigeria.
Right.
Children love it, even adults love it. So I came back to Nigeria and I said, I went to the noodle makers, manufacturers. I said, look, can I get this? Oh, you get as many as much as you want. Then, so I've got demand, I've got supply. Remains transportation. So I decided to go for transportation. I went to a port, Calabar port, and what I got will cost so much local currency. I want to bring mango from Nigeria to here. How much will I get on my mango? To get so much. Why don't I bring my mango and I get date and we square up? Why? And then we will be doing business.
Sure.
We will be transacting business. We will be trading. We will be expanding within the context of we will be expanding and improving on intra-African trade.
Sure.
Let me give you one more. If we can have a thriving coastal shipping system from Oran along the west up to Cape, we will increase intra-African trade by 10%. And let me give you an example. I went to Angola. And when I got to Angola, I I was walking around. I said, look, what can I import or what can I export to Angola from Nigeria? I made the inquiry. You won't believe it is noodles. They call it Indomie in Nigeria.
Right.
Children love it, even adults love it. So I came back to Nigeria and I said, I went to the noodle makers, manufacturers. I said, look, can I get this? Oh, you get as many as much as you want. Then, so I've got demand, I've got supply. Remains transportation. So I decided to go for transportation. I went to a port, Calabar port, and what I got are local ships that are smuggling. They say I should use that. So I ran away from it. How do you hear Obasanjo is using smuggling ship to go? Now, but we can have thriving coastal shipping.
Sure.
And it will be good for everybody, and we will be able to transact and to move. There are little things that will make a world of change in our integration and in our enhancing
Sure.
intra-African trade.
Sure.
Thank you.
Like noodles. By the way, did you overcome that challenge?
No.
You had to walk away.
I couldn't do the business.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would become a smuggler.
So there's so much more that we could talk about that we haven't spoken about, but I am mindful of time and the fact that I need to wrap up this discussion. I guess if I just reflect on some of the highlights that you have shared, areas of progress and areas of opportunity, as you did say, if we fix up our coastal and our shipping transportation system, that is a win for the continent. If we continue to invest in knowledge of who needs what and where, that is also a win. It opens up new markets and opportunities. If we raise our awareness on different payment systems that are out there and not necessarily just perhaps a Western currency system, that's also a potential win for the continent. And if we understand the importance of moving together and leaving no one behind, not just by slogan, but by way of diversity management being a critical pillar of building the continent. There's been a lot more that you have shared, sir, I know. But if you can give us one last bold, a measurable and doable goal for the continent, if there could be one bold, measurable and doable goal for Africa's trade and economic future by 2040, sir, what would it be and why?
I would say we should understand, all of us, from a day old baby to whoever lives the longest, that we cannot outsource our development to anybody outside. Our development must be our responsibility. For as long as we try to believe, and we continue to believe that some people will come out of their good nature. Now, if somebody in America is interested in Africa, find out why. Is it because of what they call the strategic metals or minerals? Now, where does the strategic minerals go? Even if somebody in China is interested in Africa, find out why. Now, but as I always say, if somebody in Algeria is interested in Africa, if he becomes a billionaire, what is the worst thing you can do. He will probably have more than one wife. It's solving a social problem. And I will have. But if you bring somebody from outside Africa to exploit, to cheat, to take what rightly belongs to us, and we turn our face away from it, we are the enemy of ourselves. And that is more or less what we do in most cases. So I will say to every African and everybody who loves Africa that we must not outsource our development. Our development should be by us, for us, with us. Thank you.
By us, with us, for us. I think that there's no greater point to wrap up the discussion, sir. There's no superhero out there that will save us. We have to be our own superhero, as you say. And whether managing many women or many wives as a billionaire compared to managing an economy is, I don't know which one is more difficult, but I think that that is a conversation for another day, sir. Suffice to say, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure once again.
Cairo, Egypt. A bold vision took flight. From a shared dream of a Frexim Bank, the African Union, and the AFCFTA Secretariat, the Intra-African Trade Fair was born.